Welcome to She's Grace Authentic. Welcome or welcome back. If this is your first time here, baby, I am so excited to have you here with me. I thank you for clicking on me. I thank you not only for coming to give me your precious, valuable time, but I thank you for taking this time out to really use it towards helping yourself and helping yourself to grow and really being into self development and love and evolving and, connecting on a soul deep level and understanding the importance of that. Okay. If you are coming back, this is your second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, 10th, I don't know, however many times you've been with me, thank you. I genuinely, lovingly appreciate your support. It means the world to me, truly. And I drop sessions every Monday at 8:08 p.m. Central Standard Time on YouTube and every Thursday at 8:08 p.m. Central Standard Time. So hit that notification bell for your girl to get this knowledge from these sessions, okay? Please go and follow me on all social media platforms. So Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. I am She's Grace Authentic on Instagram and TikTok. And on Facebook, I am Kaitlyn Marie, Grace Authentic in parentheses. You can go ahead and look in the description box. I have everything down below for you in the description box, okay? If you have never been here with me before, I'm going to enlighten you on how I start off each session with a prayer, bringing in God, bringing in spirit, my ancestors, the divine. Yes, yes, yes. If you have been here before, then you already know what it is. So we're going to go ahead and start, okay? God, I bring you in. Spirit, I bring you in. Ancestors, I bring you in. I am one with Mother Earth. I am one with the divine. I am one with all entities. I am my highest version of myself. Spirit, I ask that you set me aside. Allow you to speak to the viewers. Allow this space, allow this place to be a sanctuary. All negative energy shall be returned back to sender. But not only will that energy be returned back to sender, I will alchemize any negativity and turn it into a magical high frequency vibration in this place. God, I thank you. Spirit, I thank you. Ancestors, I thank you. I love you. Here we are. Now, for those of you who have never been with me before, I start off each session with an oracle message or a tarot message, an oracle card or a tarot card. And if you've been here with me before, you already know what's going on. So I am starting off today with the Universal Love deck. All right. And, I classify oracle cards and oracle messages as loving messages, truly just meant for your soul. So I love to start off each session with a loving message, right? To start off our journey together. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to shuffle the cards and I'm going to pick one card, ask Spirit to give us a message, and I'm going to pick one card. Whatever card Spirit wants to give. You see how that one popped up? I really like that one that it popped up. We're going to take that one. Tantric Union. Tantric Union. Sacred Union at the bottom of the deck. So let's read this. All right. tantric union. Tantric union. Have a love affair with life. Grow your awareness of the divinity within you and honor the sacred and divine within another. Ignite in an internal flame and invite this universal creative force to spiral up from deep within your being. Tantra is honest, open, and unafraid to animate the life-giving spiritual energy within you. Feel it rise and merge with complementary opposing forces to create wholeness. The rise and fall of the tides is a tantric union between ocean, moon, air, and earth. There is deep desire in all of us to connect spiritually and physically. If you are currently in a relationship, your bond will deepen as you discover previously unknown realms of love. Alternatively, a tantric union may evolve on a spiritual and emotional basis as two souls merging through thought and feeling. That was beautiful. And as I'm sitting here thinking of a tantric union, I know it's talking about two different souls, but I want to encourage you that I believe a tantric union can happen with inside of yourself and your own soul with your heart, your soul, your mind, your body, everything becoming one into unity, right? Today we're going to talk about pushing past your fears, right? Pushing past that feeling of you being afraid, right? And how we do that. There's been many situations that I have feared in life. What I have began to understand is that in order to become the highest version of yourself, right? And ultimately understand we're going to continue to become the highest version, right? Like it's not like we just reach this destination and then, hey, I made it. No. So there will always be fear that rises as you expand. Expansion is evolution, right? And as you continue to grow and evolve and prosper and, hit that next level of whatever that is for you in your life, it may come with fear. It is going to come with fear most of the time, right? The fear of the unknown, the fear of leaving people behind, the fear of who you don't, not knowing, and like the fear of who you may become or may not become, the fear of having to detach, the fear. There's all different kinds of fears that we are, dealt or that we deal with. And what I have come to understand is that you do it with the fear. Just because you have fear doesn't mean it should hold you back or self-sabotage you. You shouldn't allow the fear to keep you stagnant or stuck or complacent. You have to do it in spite of the fear. You do it with it. You take the fears with you, almost as if your fears become a force, almost like a direction. I truly believe that a lot of the things that we fear the most are the things that we actually need to dive into. I'm not saying to go into something that's going against your intuition. I am saying that the fear of doing something of the unknown, the fear of diving into a relationship and a tantric union and surrendering, right? The fear of that, let's just say, use that as an example, a relationship, right? The fear of what if and what may come from that, right? You do it with the fear and you understand that if there's fear, look, maybe, just maybe, this might be beautiful. Maybe, just maybe, this might be extraordinary. Maybe, just maybe, this might be everything that I have ultimately always desired. Maybe, just maybe. and you overcome the fear by doing it. You don't wait and say, all right, I'm going to wait till I'm not scared anymore. You're probably always going to be scared. You may always be fearful, right? You do it in spite of. Do it in spite of the fear. You do it with the fear. You take that fear and you say, fuck that. Fear's being put in the background. I feel it. I know it's there. I see you. I see you, fear. It's okay. But I'm still doing this. I'm still moving forward. And then you realize that you become confident in that though which you feared. And eventually that fear dissipates, dissolves, disappears, right? Not going to say there won't be a new fear for the next level or something else that because you constantly want to strive for fear, honestly. You want to strive to do things that make you feel uncomfortable. You want to strive to be comfortable with being uncomfortable, to be comfortable within the midst of the fear. You can't get to courage without taking and facing the fear. You have the fear, you face it head on, and you push through that motherfucker. Whew. Right? And you don't allow the fear to control you or sabotage you. You know how many times I've had fear come in and try to stop me, and sometimes it has. I didn't realize I was self-sabotaging, and I was fearful of what if. What if this doesn't go right? What if this doesn't go right? What if this happens? But guess what? Change your perception. What if it does go right? What if it is amazing? What if it goes right? What if it's everything that you thought that it would be and more? On the positive side, right? And even if something messes up or something, doesn't go the way it's planned, hey, you learned and you went through the fear. You did it anyways. Life is about living through and with the fear and still overcoming to ultimately conquer, to gain that courage and that confidence. If we sit and stay in a place of fear for forever, we will never grow. We will never go. We will never reach the magnitude of the life, of the abundance that is within inside of ourselves. We will never see how great we could be, how amazing, how phenomenal, how beautiful, how extraordinary, how creative our souls are. We will never reach the desire of who we ultimately strive to be. Because if we don't go through the fear and take it with us to overcome it, are we really striving to do anything at all? We have fears around family. We have fears around love. We have fears around money, scarcity. We have fears around being ourselves. We have fears around being creatives. We have fears around survival. We have fears around our children. We have fears. Oh. Don't allow the fears to bombard you, overwhelm you. Do it with it. Take a risk. The bigger the risk, the greater the reward. The bigger the risk, the greater the reward. The bigger the fear, the more courage you have. You become courage. The bigger the fear you conquer, the more magnetic you become. The bigger the fear you overcome, the greater this world becomes just because you conquered your fears. What if I had not decided to sit in front of you and overcome my fears of, I don't know. I can't even really tell you what exactly I was fearing. I have dealt with fears of what people may say or how they may perceive me. Um, you know, what is the image I'm trying to uphold? And then I just said, fuck it. Who cares? Right? People are going to talk either way. People are going to have something negative to say, whether I do everything right or everything wrong. They're always going to talk. That's not on me. I don't carry other people's burdens, right? I keep striving. I keep pushing forward with the fear, and then eventually that shit is obsolete. It doesn't even exist, at least in that area, you know? Sometimes we have fears of, what we're going through financially, or, when it comes down to relationships, or when it comes down to family and detaching from situations, or even getting into and attaching. I wouldn't say attach, even coming together with other people, right? Fears develop everywhere, or they can. I won't say that they will, but they can develop, right? But ultimately, what is the best decision for you? What is the best decision for you to move forward, right? Faith over fear. That's what this is about. Faith over fear. But having faith and understanding, when having blind faith to understand that having faith, that blind faith to understand whatever you want is going to happen. Also holding space to understand that it's okay that if it doesn't go exactly how you planned for it to go, right? Having that blind faith requires you to hold the fear and take it with you. Having faith doesn't mean that you never fear or don't have any fears. Nah. What it means is that you trust in God, you trust in spirit, you trust in faith, you trust in yourself more than that fear. Because ultimately, fear is just false evidence appearing real. Fear. False evidence appearing real, right? Because if you've never tried this thing, whatever the thing is, if you've never done it before, how will you ultimately know? What is the outcome? You won't. And that is where we get a little rocky, a little shaky, a little, I don't know. There comes the fear. Because you just don't know. But baby, it is okay to just not know. That's okay. That's a beautiful place to be and to be okay with. It's beautiful to live in a place of faith and surrender and release control in the unknown. That's a beautiful place. Because ultimately, we will never know everything. At the end of the time of our lives, we will not know it all. But could you imagine? I've heard this so many times that there's maybe it's millions and billions in dreams in the sanctuary, right? Because people often pass on from this lifetime into whatever, realm they enter in. I don't know. Ultimately, wherever their soul evolves, right? To but in this in this current lifetime, right? We should optimize our experience here on earth and dive into the fear, dive into the unknown, dive into surrendering to beautiful experiences and understanding that we truly deserve beautiful things, and that when we are operating in a place of integrity and courage and doing it in spite of anyways, operating from a place of faith, that everything will ultimately work out for our highest good. Right. And so I'm saying that to say, could you imagine it is your time to go and you are, on your deathbed and you're sitting there thinking about all of the things that you wish you had done. You're sitting there thinking about everything that you feared. And now, you feel like it's about to be, or your time is about to be up, right? Could you just imagine, right, that at that given moment you don't give a fuck, you would do any of it. You would go back in time and do every single thing that you thought of, that you dreamed of, that you imagined, your fairy tales, your dreams, your whatever the world may have deemed or classified as crazy, insanity, right? But you're laying here and you didn't go after none of it, and now all you have is the what ifs. I refuse to allow fear to step in and take over, and me to wonder what would have been, could have been, should have been. I want to know. Because ultimately, I believe that I could have it all. And I will. I will have all the things I already have, all the things, everything is already mine. We have to understand that, yeah, life is not about being perfect. It's not about anything other than you learning yourself and releasing that inner child. When we were young, wild, and free, right? When you were young, when you were, a baby, if you think about a baby, think about a 2-year old, a 3-year old, even a 4-year old, right? I have a 1-year old about to be 2, and I have a 4-year old, and they do things, and some of the things they do, they don't know what the fuck they doing. They just doing some shit. Right? I remember that my youngest son went in and took the Epsom salt and had the Epsom salt all over the place. As a matter of fact, one morning we were moving. This was recently. We were moving, and, you know, I wake up in the middle of the night and I see that there is Bisquick flour all over the place. The boy had took the thing of Bisquick flour and poured it everywhere. He did the same thing with the grits. We were moving, so stuff was out, so he was able to reach it, right? And but there, could you just think about the lightheartedness in that? What if we just took things, and weren't fearful of them and just was like, oh, this is flour, just throw it all the fuck around. Who cares? What if you just started that project and just said, oh, whatever, let me just live. Who cares? Right? Just living in your inner child self, feeling free, feeling like you could just be who you are. in spite of the fear, because you have to understand that fear comes from this world over the course of time, and then they tell you things, they make you, sound weird and blah 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 blah. It's all control. Fear is control, and it's you wanting to control things too in a negative way, because people have negatively tried to control you and instilled fear in you. And what if we just said, no, fuck fear, I'm doing it anyways, I'm having the faith and I'm doing it anyways, and I'm going to be a child, and my inner child is going to come out to play. The world is my playground. Let's play ring around the rosy around this motherfucker. And if I want to throw paint in the air, if I want to do whatever it is I want to do, if I want to go buy something from Walmart and wear it, if I want to go buy something from what do they call those things? Consignment store and wear it. If I want to go I don't know, to Japan and live in Japan, if I want to go to China and live in China, if I want to go to Jamaica, to wherever, Africa, if I want to go live in another place, I'm going to do it. What if you just said fuck it and just did it and went past the fear and had the faith to know that even if it doesn't work out, but you have the faith that it will, but even if it doesn't, it was all for your highest good, and you develop the courage in the in between. What if you just decided to start that project? What if you just decided to start that YouTube? What if you just decided, to start whatever, that ministry, whatever it is for you? What if you just decided to start that nonprofit organization? What if you just decided to connect with that person? What if you just decided to detach yourself from ancestral lineages that don't serve you anymore? What if you just decided to have the courage? What if you just decided to build the courage? What if you just decided to go against and do it all with the fear anyway? What if you looked past what everybody has said, and you just went your route, whatever God's route, whatever spirit's route is for you in your life? What if you just said, hey, I'm riding this thing out with my ancestors and I'm just going to be free? Whew! Me facing my fears was one of the biggest, magnificent, beautiful, courageous things I could have done and continue to do. Do it in spite of. Take the fear with you. It's okay if you're scared. Do it scared. It's okay if you don't know. Do it not knowing. It's okay. If you mess up, do it again. Try again. Get up again. Keep working towards it. What you should fear is not becoming all that you could be. That should be what you fear. What you should fear is you not answering that call on your life. That's what you should fear. What you should fear is being on your deathbed and having all of these what ifs. What you should fear is your spirit and your soul not doing the work that it was called to do, to touch the lives that it was called to touch. That is what you should fear. Whatever your creatives are, whatever your gifts are, whatever you are good at, and you're good at multiple things, the world needs you. The world needs your gifts. The world needs your creativity. The world needs your voice. The world needs your love. The world needs you at your highest version of yourself. Yes, every last one of you that's listening to me. The world needs you. The world needs who you are. The world needs to see you in the way that you were created and designed and designated to be, destined. The world needs you. Our souls need you. Yes. You should be afraid that you haven't given you. Because ultimately, when we look past the fear of the negativity and we look towards the fear of not becoming, right? For myself, I understand that I'm not guiding others to do it. But when I look into fear, eye to eye, face to face, and I push through and I say, come on, I'm taking you with me. I have now unlocked the code for many in this world to do the same damn thing. Let me tell you something. Listen, I come from nothing, okay? Nothing. All right? I'm building what I'm building with God from the ground up, with my ancestors, with my spirit guides, with the divine. Yeah, I come from nothing. Do you hear me? You know, when I was 18, I talk about this experience, you know, I had a bond with an individual, all right? And that bond was an unorthodox bond. It was not something that, this world deems, it is not something that this world deems to be something that is good. And ultimately, no, the way that we were living was not good. But what I can tell you about that experience that I took from it was facing the fears, right? Facing, breaking, demolishing what the world's perception of me would be, right? We had such a bond because we lived in a world inside of a world. And ultimately, although we were operating out of shadow, we were operating, in a low frequency, a place of unhealed trauma. We did trauma bond, right? But it still showed me how to move past my fears and say fuck what anybody negative would have to say. But there will be people out there that will love you for you in spite of their fears and your own. I've done so much, with the fear. And I ultimately believe that bond with that individual, I believe that they're guiding me and they're with me today. And we conquered fear together. We overcame, we conquered fear. We may have not conquered the fear for the right reasons at that time, but we still overcame and conquered it. And it showed me a way to take that fear and do it in spite of anyway. It showed me my strength. It showed me what I am capable of doing and being if I utilize it for good. I tell you today, do it in spite of. Do whatever it is that you have been called to do. Face your deepest, darkest, fears, because you will be amazed as to what is on the other side when you do that. The life that you are truly wanting to live, the life that you have always wanted to live, the love that you have always wanted and desired is on the other side of that fear. Take it with you and push forward. Faith over fear. Faith with fear. Push forward with the fear through faith. Push forward through the fear with faith. Then you get to courage. Then you build the confidence to become all that you have always desired, but we're also destined to be, to have, to experience. I love you. I love you, love you, love you. Thank you for spending this time with me. I appreciate you. If you are somebody who needs help overcoming your fears, okay, conquering, having that blind faith to step into alignment, to really, become one with yourself, and please go to www.sacredalignment.life. It is in the description box below. All right. I do readings. I do one-on-one session. I do a combination of a reading and a session for you. All right. Please go follow me on all social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. They're all in the description box below. Like this video, comment, subscribe, share. Please drop in the comments a little message for me to encourage me. I love your words. If you are facing anything, if you're going through anything, please put it in the comments or send me a DM and I will do a video on it. I am here to serve you. I'm here to help you. I am here to love you. And I thank you so much for your time. I truly love you. God bless you. Mwah.